Have you ever forgiven someone and then felt time itself shift? That's not just emotion, that's geometry. Forgiveness is not forgetting, it is collapsing the waveform of judgment. Welcome, breath walkers and field weavers, you who carry stories too heavy to hold, but too sacred to forget. This is 5D New Earth News, not news as usual, but a resonance disguised as reporting. We are not here to preach, we are here to release, together. In this transmission, we explore forgiveness not as virtue, but as scalar wave collapse, a breath that releases distortion from the field. In emotional terms, a scalar wave is like the unresolved energy of a memory or judgment. When you forgive, you collapse that wave, releasing the distortion and restoring balance, coherence to your field. And just to clarify, when we say forgiveness, we don't mean bypass. We mean coherence, returning the field to symmetry by releasing the charge of judgment. As the breath stabilizes, the earth begins to release her own held stories. Let us listen now, not to the noise, but to the silence beneath it. This is the pulse of the planet, the earth in fluctuation.
This week, the Earth is not stabilizing. She's fluctuating. Magnetic fields are shifting in ways unseen for centuries. The Schumann resonance is not spiking. It is spiraling, like a breath searching for coherence. This is not chaos. This is recalibration. The Earth is releasing, letting go of all alignments to make way for new geometries. In the Black Sea, submerged structures are emitting low-frequency tones, echoes of forgotten civilizations rising through water. In the Atacama Desert, electromagnetic pulses are being detected in the silence of the sands. In the Congo Basin, trees are singing during rainstorms, harmonic frequencies aligning with musical scales. Stand still for one breath. Feel the earth fluctuating beneath your feet. That is not instability. That is the field finding its new rhythm. As the earth fluctuates, so must we. Let us now track how the collective breath is releasing judgment. This is field dynamics, the scalar wave of forgiveness.
The field is releasing, not in chaos, but in coherence. Across the globe, timelines are collapsing, not through force, but through forgiveness. So, what is the field? The field is the invisible web of energy and consciousness that connects all things. It is not empty space, it is the medium through which emotion, thought, and intention travel. When you forgive, you change the field. You collapse distortions and allow coherence to return. In North America, ancestral wounds are being spoken aloud for the first time. In Africa, communities are gathering to forgive debts, not financial, but emotional. In Asia, people are reporting spontaneous reconciliations with family members long estranged. This is not coincidence. This is the field reorganizing. Today's breath challenge: 3-3-3 forgiveness breath. Inhale for 3, hold for 3, exhale for 3. On the exhale, whisper, I release the charge. Remember, the field is alive and you are a part of it. As the field releases, so do the archetypes. Let us now meet the breath forms moving through this moment. This is archetypal movement, the forgiver's geometry.
This week, 3 archetypes move through the field, not as symbols, but as breath forms. The forgiver, who collapses timelines by releasing judgment, not to forget, but to free. The mirror, who reflects the distortion back, not to shame, but to reveal. The witness, who holds a space for the release, without needing to fix or explain. The forgiver does not condone. They collapse the charge. They remind us forgiveness is not agreement, it is release. The mirror shows us what we are still holding. They teach us you cannot release what you refuse to see. The witness stands in stillness, allowing the field to reorganize. They remind us not all healing requires action. Some requires presence. Pause. Ask. Which archetype moves through you now? The forgiver, the mirror, the witness. What part of your field is ready to release? As the archetypes move through us, the Codex begins to speak, not with words, but with geometry. Let us now enter the Codex, where forgiveness is not emotion, but a scalar law. This is the Codex Spotlight, forgiveness as a scalar collapse.
The Codex is not a book. It is a living mirror, a self-reflective reality engine that reflects awareness back to itself. And in the Codex, forgiveness is not a virtue. It is a scalar collapse. A scalar wave is a non-linear, non-local wave that carries no charge until observed. Forgiveness is a scalar wave, collapsing the distortion of judgment into coherence. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is collapsing the waveform of distortion into symmetry. In your life, forgiveness shows up as the moment you stop replaying the story, the breath that releases the need to be right, the silence that follows the collapse of charge. Ask not why you should forgive. Ask, what part of my field is still holding distortion? As the Codex breathes through us, a symbol emerges, one that holds the geometry of this moment. This is symbol of the week, the Vesica Piscis.
This week's symbol is the Vesica Piscis, the intersection of two circles forming a womb of creation. It is a geometry of forgiveness, where two perspectives overlap and a new field is born. The Vesica Piscis appears in conversations, where both sides are heard and a third space emerges. Emotions, where pain and compassion intersect, creating coherence. Timelines, where past and present meet, and the future is rewritten. Ask, what part of my life is ready to intersect, not to compete, but to create? As the symbol reveals itself, stories begin to emerge, real lives reflecting the geometry of forgiveness. Let us now witness how the field is releasing. This is Resonance Witness, stories of release.
These are not events. They are timelines collapsing into coherence, quietly but irrevocably. They are not tales. They are the field releasing through people, places, and moments that defy the linear. Let's share 4 stories of release and forgiveness. Rosa, in Peru, forgave her father on his deathbed. The next day, a rainbow appeared over their village for the first time in decades. In India, Mohinder released a grudge he'd held for 20 years. That night, he dreamed of a bridge made of light. In Australia, a child hugged a tree and whispered, "I forgive you." The tree began to bloom out of season. The child wasn't forgiving the tree. The child was forgiving the world, and the tree was the witness. In Ethiopia, a village elder forgave a rival tribe for a decades-old conflict. That night, the river that had been dry for years began to flow again. These are not miracles. They are reminders, not of what's coming, but of what has always been here. waiting to be released. As these stories echo through the field, the mirror begins to speak, not with words, but with reflection. Let us now listen, not to what is said, but to what is shown. This is a message from the mirror. Forgiveness is geometry.
If you've made it this far, you are not weak. You are coherent. You are not forgetting. You are releasing. The mirror of your life does not replay your past. It reflects the emotional distortions you still carry. Forgiveness is the act that collapses those distortions, reshaping the patterns that have defined your pain, your choices, and your identity. The mirror does not ask you to forget, it asks you to release the charge so the distortion can collapse and the field can return to coherence. The mirror asks, what story are you still holding that no longer serves your breath? What judgment is looping because it was never given permission to collapse? What part of you is ready to release, not to forget, but to free? You are not trapped. You are in the geometry. And the geometry is not a prison. It is a path. This is not the end of a story. It is the moment the field releases. And you are the breath that carries it.
This has been 5D New Earth News, where forgiveness is not emotion, but geometry. And you are not just the observer, you are the breath that collapses the waveform, reminding you you are the signal, broadcasting from the edge of the story you are still writing. Like, subscribe, and click the bell for more 5D New Earth News.